Hello everyone, you have learned how to use the Jupyter Notebook in the previous video. In this video, we will see what are variables and data types in Python. Now, before we can start about variables, let's understand why do we need them in the first place. Consider the scenario. Suppose you have a list of salaries of all the people in your team and you want to figure it out whether someone is getting, let's say, a significantly higher amount than the rest. Note that given the fact that you only have numbers here, it's hard to figure it out which salary belongs to whom. A better approach would have been, for example, when you had the name of the people associated with each salary, as you see on the screen, Nina is earning 97k. This would have made your job now much easier. You may or may not have realized, but what we did just now is actually the concept of variable in its simplest form. So what variables are? Variables are nothing but names that are assigned to objects. In this case, we have name of people such as Nina, David, Rahul, and they are assigned to these values of salary. So here 97k for Nina, 50k for David, and 55k for Rahul. So as you see here, we are assigning name Nina to a value, and that is called variable. So variables are names bounded to objects. Now next, let's see how we can create a variable in Python. It's very simple to create a variable in Python. You are going to choose a variable name and then you will choose a value to assign with an equal sign. But when you create a variable in Python, you have to be careful because there are some rules when you create a variable. First of all, Python is case sensitive. As you see here, uppercase A equal to 5 and lowercase a equal to 5 are actually different variables. Python does not consider them to be the same variable because their case is different. One is uppercase and one is lowercase. And the next rule is that variable names cannot start with a special character except underscore. So underscore Sam equals 5 is valid. But if you replace underscore with any other special character, like in this case @ or backslash, it's invalid. And the third rule is variable name cannot start with a number. This might be a little bit confusing. For instance, 9Sam equal to 5 is invalid. At the same time, you can have numbers anywhere in the name itself. So here, as you see, SA9M equals 5 is a valid variable name, although 9Sam equals 5 is invalid. So what basically the rule is, the first character of the name should not be a number. It can be any alphabet or it can be an underscore. Now these are some basic rules of naming. Next, we will talk about data types in Python. So variables can be stored in different types of data. For instance, you can store a variable integer. Integers are the whole numbers like 4, 5 or -2, -3. The next type of data is decimal numbers or real numbers. So 4.5, 6.7, and we call them as float. The third type of data types are Boolean values. Boolean values are true and false. We will learn more about Booleans and why they are useful in the next couple of videos. But for now, remember that Boolean values can also be stored in variables in Python, and they are known as bool data type. When you consider the real-world data, we also have text, and text data is called strings. For instance, name, addresses, like Python is a string variable. And we can also store strings as variables in Python. Next, we are going to talk about how variables work in Python. Let's create a variable, a value of 10. So a is equal to 10. Now we create a variable called a. Next, create a second variable b with the value of a. So b is equal to a. And third, let's update the value of a to 6. So what do you think in this case will be the value of a and b? Let's understand this diagrammatically. So when you say a is equal to 10, basically you are assigning name a to the value of 10, and that is stored somewhere in your memory in Python. Now when you say b is equal to a, you are also making sure that b is pointing to the same value of 10. So now you have two variables a and b, both of which names are aliases for the same value 10 that is stored somewhere in the memory. Now the minute you say a equal to 6, basically you say a is assigned to a value 6 somewhere in the memory. B is still 10 because we haven't made any changes to b. It's still pointing to the value of 10. So after performing this set of instructions, we will have the value of a is equal to 6 and the value of b is equal to 10. So this was all about variables and different data types in Python. Now some of the concepts might be confusing, but do not worry because I'm going to show all of these concepts in more detail in the next video on a Jupyter Notebook.